So it's been a busy day. This is number 3 today, and also the conclusion. This is Gilmore Girls Part 3. So the last 2 seasons, obviously, well, the ending was basically, but I've counted most of the factors of the show. One of the many, many things is the way relationships end. And the funny thing is, women actually see television shows ending relationships where it's just a girl just wakes up one day and all of a sudden she's not in love anymore. No rhyme, no reason, and boom. No explanation. They can never explain it. They want to talk. They never say anything. Nothing ever gets resolved. They just move on. And then they come back, and then they move on. This is the Lorelai Gilmore. It is just horrendous. I mean, there was like no rhyme or reason for any of the relationships that ended or any of the relationships that started. And the main trick is I need space, I need time by myself, and 5 minutes later she's in bed with someone else. Because all women do that. How I lost 4 long-term relationships, they were in bed with someone else. In one case, many someone else's. Okay, in 2 cases. Because that's just it. I'm not bitter, though. Anyways, Rory ending a relationship because she was delusional and because it worked into selling a political point. The entire thing. You noticed it in the beginning of season 7. They mentioned Barack Obama. Paid insertion before he was a candidate. Much like the paid insertion into Will and Grace. This is what happens when Oprah was seeding the name recognition fountain by paying writers and producers in exchange for promoting their shows or their actors on her show. They had to do this Barack Obama favor, which is how he got the name recognition. Well, in the end, they end the show with Rory going off as a reporter on his campaign tour and mentioning his name quite a bit and promoting basically behind, endorsing a political candidate on a major television show, which many other shows did. That was horrendous because they turned it into a political platform without any validation. So basically, beautiful. I mean, and, Alexis with those wide hips. That was kind of cute. Kind of, the whole playing the doe in the doe-eyed little, that got old really fast. And once again, I'm still upset that nothing ever came of the her and Paris, because that is probably why all her relationships were failing, because she wanted to be with Paris. Her and Paris would have made a great couple. I mean, seriously, it just would have made one of the best endings. It would have made a great storyline throughout the season. It was just one of the many failures of the Gilmore Girls. And overall, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars for the entire 7 seasons. There were weaknesses, there were strengths, there were irrational, and basically somewhat realistic. Now, as a New Englander, and as I've mentioned before, living here in Quahog, which is basically a caricature of a town in and of itself, shows like this and other one, like Once Upon a Time and Agatha Christie one with the Murder, She Wrote, make small town New England look like everyone is like a mental reject that wasn't smart enough to go to a city. They were just backwoods yokels, and they all had weird, quirky things because, oh yes, having a festival is quirky and weird, and being social is the antithesis of society. It is antisocial. Yes, because of course you're not holding your cup like this, and yeah, it's just made no sense. But yes, it does sort of, and everyone being a genius, all the major people having genius children. Yeah. Anyways, it's over. It's done. We're moving on. I'm getting actually back into season 4 of Spartacus, which is a little, cause I change it up, yo. Gotta keep it real. Anyways, overall, 4 out of 5 stars. Wish it was, I actually imagined at one point, because part of the Free the Nipple campaign is, if they had done an episode of Gilmore Girls where everyone was in the nude, but they didn't change the dialogue, they didn't change the markings, you hit your mark, all the camera angles are the same, the dialogue is the same, all the acting is the same, it's just everyone is naked. Would it be considered a porno at that point? Because otherwise, except for the fact that almost half of every episode involves wardrobe selections, which would sort of make all the shows like 10 minutes, 20 minutes long. But just one of those things. Just imagine your favorite show where an episode is done as a nudist episode. Think about it.